Okay, welcome back. We're hopping back into turn 66 of Garden of Good and Evil. This is Lucid. I'm playing MA-Ermor. So, we have a message from Asphodel. I'm going to take 40 to get across to Bandar, or to get access to Bandar. Let's check that out. One cool tip, if you didn't know, you hit G, the letter G, and you type in the province number, and boom, it'll take you there. So he wants to take this one so he can march up here and get to Bandar Log's capital. I'm cool with that, so I send him a message back saying, yes, brother, pass and feast on his capital. 51 is mine, though. 51 is this, so I'm laying claim to it. The reason I'm laying claim to this one is I know there's healing nuns there, so if I ever want to get Burden of Time back up, that one's useful. It also gives me a quick way to take Bandar's capital back from Asphodel if I so desire. Okay. We cast Arcane Probing. We found a magic site. We found Maze. This is a really, really good one. 2 pearls. I will take it. One thing, and I need to do it more in the current game I'm in, is all of the underground probably has not been site searched for Astral, because Agartha does not have Astral access, so I do need to cast Arcane Probing here. So I'll probably take some of these guys, and they can cast pretty far down. Let me free up some gems real quick. Oh, I didn't free up enough. I forgot it's kind of expensive. Let's see how far we can cast here. So 4. So that would get me pretty far in here. That's 5. So that gets me to these. Right? But then I also have a mage here, and he can cast... Oh yeah, he can get real deep. So a lot of it's with the mages right here. I should be able to site search most of Agartha without too much troop movement. Let's look at the rest of the events. We cast Arouse Hunger. We cast Heart Respects. We cast Transmute Fire. We got 800 more gold. We had an assassination attempt. They got a ghoul, right? So that is why I was moving ghouls here. So you can see this was... So I cast Arouse Hunger, and it finally worked. I finally had somebody target someone other than my Archbishop. Fair enough. Okay, we had a battle here. They took back this province. And we have taken this province back from them, which is nice. Any turn I have this under my control is great. I love death gems. What else do we have? There was also an independent attack against me. Let's see what came in. Some knights. Those are kind of painful. Yeah, they got hurt. I probably lost, what, 20 troops? 15 troops? $22? Yeah, that's okay. The events, the Knights attack, we have an Unrest event, and we got more Death Gems. I do like that, let me tell you. Okay, and most importantly, construction's finished. So I'm turning... I had a lot of trouble figuring out what I was going to research after construction. On one hand, as MA-Ermor, you love to run up enchantment. Now, the reason you like running up it is because you get anti-magic, which normally is great, but versus a nation that is relying so heavily on astral magic, and also who's a very good player. If they're an inexperienced player, a lot of times they don't know about Magic Duel. But a good player with an astral nation, I really cannot plan on using anti-magic, because my dude will be Magic Dueled and that will be the end of it. So yeah, I would like this, but there's not too much I can do. On the Earth side, I have a ton of Earth Gems, so it would be kind of cool to put this up. Earthblood Deepwell, just to take up an enchantment slot. I mean, a global spot. And then these are nice, and I could cast them. They're not great, but they're okay. So there's some nice things with this, but not great. Enchantment Death is also nice because I can get Rigor Mortis. Again, I have trouble casting death spells because all my dudes could get magic dueled. I could do like a Mound King or a Lich from Lichcraft if I got really far down it, but right now I could summon a Mound King or a Wraith Lord, and they could put up Rigor Mortis, which would be useful. I would do that, but it's a lot of research. And that's mostly the bang for the buck. There's some situational uses for Twiceborn, but not really. So that is about it. So Thaumaturgy. Let's take a look at that real quick. Thaumaturgy. If I had a lot of water gems, which I do not, but if I had an income of like 5 or 10, I would definitely be looking to put down Vengeful Waters. This is a great global for MA-Ermor, and it's one of the reasons you take a Water Bless. So I would love to put this down. Purgatory also is awesome, right? And it would basically just ruin Asphodel. So there's a strong reason for me to go down this path later if I get my water income up, or once I'm fighting Asphodel. And I have a huge fire income, so this actually is really good. Melancholia is pretty good. It gives soldiers a chance to desert, which is okay. Those are the main ones. Those are definitely the main ones. Foul Air. Foul Air is okay. Yeah. It's actually not very good. It's kind of a waste of gems. So those are kind of the thing. I was considering going with Thaumaturgy. Construction 7 would be really nice because I get Golem Construction, which again is a spell I can cast. And this gives me Astral Mages that cannot be Mind Hunted and cannot be Magic Dueled. So it's my only reliable way of getting anti-magic up. So I would love to cast this. This is something I definitely want, and it was definitely something I was considering. But for this to really be useful, I have to get Golem Construction complete, right? So that's a lot. That's 2,500, right? Then I have to run from 1 to 4. Actually, that's not that much. 1 to 4 on enchantment, and then I'll get anti-magic. So actually, that's not as expensive. But I don't think it will make me win the game. You know, I think it's going to be better, but it's not going to be game-winning. And that's one thing that you've really got to look at is what's going to help you win. And what I figured that would help me win, and it's a super long shot, but is Well of Misery. Now, it's already up, but I can overcast it. And when I overcast it, nobody's going to take it from me again. And I can have, 2,000 troops patrolling my my home province so that I don't get magic dueled. And then I'm high enough in Conjuration now that I think this many water gems on him, and he won't really be able to be assassinated. And if I get an Air Mage, I can give him an amulet that prevents arrows from hitting him. I think, Amulet of Missile Protection or something like that. And that will make it so he can't get feeble-minded sniped like he did before. So that is definitely something I'm looking to do. But it is a long run from Conjuration up all the way to 8. Super far, right? There's some nice things along the way. Great Lamentation, not really useful for me versus magic-heavy dudes. If I was fighting really strong physical troops or super combatants or things like that, I would definitely like them, but right now, not super useful. Wraith Lord would be really useful for me to take some provinces that shift into my dominion, like this one, but where there's a lot of assassinations. But I do have to worry about him attacking and using Enslave Mind, because Enslave Mind is one of the good ways to counter Immortals, and that's actually super easy for him to do. And then not only have I lost him, but I've given him to him. So, not super excited about that. But what it does do is it gives me good access to... At 8, I will get King of Elemental Fire, which is good. I get King of Banefires, which I can cast, which is really good. I get Queen of Water Elemental, which I think Ryla's already taken all these, so fine. but that's not bad. I get nature. I get access to air through Fairy Court. Where is that? Right here, 8. 40 nature gems. I get a nature 3, air 3 fairy. Really, really good. And did I cover? Oh, earth. I can get King of Elemental Earth, which I don't think anybody has these up, and I would totally like to get them. I can kit them out, and this is one of the game-winning things. Like, if I get this, and then if I run up Alteration to get... hell, Marble Warriors is really good, because I will not have... It will not... I'm not really worried about the cold resistance. Army... This would be game-winning, though, if I can get Alteration 9 with the Earth Elemental Leaders. So that's something I would like to do, and it also gives me Wizard Tower, which I have a phenomenal Earth income, so I would love to have that. But otherwise I can drop very useful things like Curse of Stones and a few other things. So there's a lot of good things going up Conjuration, but I just have to go so far. And the big thing is Well of Misery. If I get Well of Misery up, and if I cast it with, let's say, 200 gems, or 160, something kind of ridiculous, I'll have it for the rest of the game, and it gives tax revenue all over the world, which I really don't care much about. In fact, that's actually bad for me. I think it's about 20%, I'm not sure. And then I get a huge magical income of death gems. I think it's 20, but I could be wrong. I think it's 20. I can go test it afterwards. But 20 death gems, which means it would pay off in a couple years. So we'll see. It's definitely a good target. If I can snipe Ryla's capital once I get Construction 6, which I have now, then that will be good. So where we're looking at on time for this turn, it looks like I'll probably just do this one turn, and I'm kind of going to go through my strategy. And then after that, I've got a couple more. I'll probably do 3 turns in the next episode. So what I'm going to show you now is what I'm building. So I finished Construction 3. Let's see if I'm building anything. Did I actually script anything? Oh, maybe I, forgot. It's always funny when you look at your old turn files. I think I'm so obsessed with... Okay, charcoal shield. So that was actually a mistake. I didn't want to build a charcoal shield. Skull of Fire, so that's good. So I'm getting... This has helped me... I'm starting to climb up fire. So Skull of Fire, great. I get up to Fire 4. And then once I'm Fire 4, then I can form this, forge this, which will get me up to Fire 5. So that's very, very good to have. It'll make my Transmute Fire more efficient, and it gets me higher in the fire path. So that's that. We're continuing to cast Arouse Hunger here. I'm going to go ahead and show you how I'm thinking I'm going to kit my dudes out. So one thing is to go underwater, I'm going to need to forge this again. Which is expensive, 15 nature, 5 water. I don't really have that many nature right now, I only have 9. So it'll be like a turn before I can forge that. Whoops, I accidentally hit my hotkey to stop recording. So, yeah, so that's the manual of water breathing. And that's going to be for my, my water variety of Archbishop. So I'm going to have 2 kinds of Archbishops, and they're going to be kitted differently. One Archbishop is going to be to go on land, and one's going to be to go underwater. I'm going to talk about the underwater one first. So the underwater one, some of the things that work on land don't work underwater. An example of that is the charcoal shield. Not charcoal, lantern shield. So this shield does corpse candle, right, which cannot be cast underwater, but it gives you 3 corpse candles, and these are awesome for distracting water elementals. Not so good for killing the enemy Star Children, who are really long-lived, because their attack really just does decay, which makes them age. But they've got super high defense, they're ethereal, and they can distract water elementals for a really long time. So they're going to be great for my land battles, but will not work underwater. So instead, when I'm underwater, what we'll have is a lead shield to give me magic resistance. We will have a one-handed weapon, probably a lightning spear. These do armor negating damage, which means it's going to be good against, and they're magical. So it's a cheap, good enough weapon that should be able to take out water elementals when you see all the rest of the gear I have. I could put a firebrand on them. It would be a little more practical, gives them more fire resistance, which I don't really need. The attack is better. It's armor piercing, does more damage. The small area fire, it's fire damage, which actually I believe water and ice elementals have a resistance to, so that part isn't great. But potentially it could be more useful. Anyway, I'm going for the cheaper one of these because I really have too many air gems, so air gems are essentially free for me. So we said the lead shield, the lightning spear. For the helmet, we are going to be making these guys, Wraith Crown. So it's going to give me Ethereal, and it's going to summon Long Dead at the start of a battle. So the Long Dead are great in assassination attempts. Really, really good. The Undead command is actually really good too, because it's going to increase the amount of troops I can take with me underwater, and since this will really be my only commander in the army, having more command is really good. If I were to bring another commander, I'd have to get them all kitted up additionally to withstand assassination attempts. So really I can only take one commander at a time, which is risky, but hey, we're going ball deep. Ethereal is really good at also in assassination attempts because water elementals have physical attacks, and Ethereal will dodge a lot of it. So this will make my archbishops actually very good super combatants. They really are at that level, super combatant, when you see how they're going to be fully geared. So they're going to have this. For their body armor, we're going to be giving them... They could have two things, really. One option is we can give them this elemental armor, which has high encumbrance, which doesn't matter, but good protection, and then a lot of elemental resistances. Which is just generally nice. It's going to make it unlikely they get killed in battle. There are other good options here. The marble armor is also good. I won't be doing it, but for probably for my land commanders, I'll probably be doing that. Anything else? Chainmail displacement, that's not a horrible option. So anyway, that's what we're getting for armor. What else? For boots, we said this is going to be the armor, right? For boots, I'm going to be getting Boots of Stone, which is going to put Stone Skin on me, which goes really well with Undead, because Stone Skin gives you a cold debuff, but I have cold resistance. So it's going to be free additional armor, and it will stack a lot with the armor I already have on. So this will get my protection in the high 20s. So that's really good. I already mentioned we're going to be having the Tomb of Water Breathing. The second item I'm going to have could be a Ring of Warning. Most likely will be a Ring of Warning. But it could also be, and actually this is probably better, so it's probably what I'll end up doing. Will probably be a Bottle of Water, because this will be my underwater guy, and water elementals underwater are so good. They get regeneration, which they don't have on land. And this in combination with my wisps means their dudes are going to be super distracted. So this dude will be essentially unkillable by assassin, by any kind of normal assassin. You basically have to give a black heart, which is an assassination item, to some kind of super combatant, and even then, I've got a good chance of winning. So, well, I don't know. I've got an okay chance of winning. A properly geared super combatant with a black heart would kill me. So I don't want to give him enough time to plan all that kind of stuff. So one element is going to be I need to surprise him and do a capital rush. Alright, so that is my strategy for the next few turns. That's the end of turn 66. And I'll probably do another episode where I hopefully cover 3 more turns. So thanks everyone for watching, and I'll catch you next time.